You're watching CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown.
Hello and good evening. I'm Chauncey Glover. Here are your top stories. A very cold and windy night for many of us. I know you feel it out there. A live look outside tonight. Look at those clear skies, but those powerful gusts will make you want to stay inside. Danny Roberti is here tracking the latest conditions for us. And Danny, what's ahead in your next weather forecast?
Hey, Chauncey. Yeah, what's next? It's the cold, it's the wind, and this is moving in fast. We have another storm on the way, but let's talk about our temperatures tonight. Another downright cold night all across the board. Now, it's not going to be nearly as cold as it was last night, but still, for our standards here in Southern California, I mean, this is well below normal. We are talking 30s and 40s, mid 40s in Fullerton, low 40s over in downtown Los Angeles. We're back to the upper 30s over in the Inland Empire, upper 20s, so below freezing through Palmdale, Lancaster, and you are down to 15 degrees in Big Bear. So let's talk about what's next. We are holding on to these cold nights. It's going to be frosty as you wake up tomorrow morning. When we're dealing with this cold, it's kind of hard to even get out of bed. You just want to stay at home. A cold front is going to move through on Wednesday night. Now, this is going to do more in the way of wind, less in the way of rain and snow, but still light showers are possible Wednesday night into Thursday. But the big story, it is still going to be those strong gusty winds that kick into gear. And we have advisories and warnings for everyone in our region. So take a look at this. We are talking high wind warnings for these areas shaded in that kind of golden yellow. This is where we could see gusts up to 70 miles per hour. My goodness. Isolated gusts up to 80 miles possible in some areas, miles per hour. And then wind advisories for everyone else. So this also includes the LA Basin. We're talking about the coast all through Orange County into LA County, where we could see gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And that's going to be the case Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So let's take a look at how this all plays out. So going into tomorrow morning, here's a look at your Wednesday morning. You can see it is breezy up in the mountains near the foothills. You can see some of those winds kicking into gear in the San Fernando Valley. And that's going to continue Wednesday morning. Strongest winds through the high deserts, up in the mountains. But take a look at Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. Winds are going to start to pick up right there along the coast, and it is going to strengthen. We are talking gusts up to about 40 miles per hour. This is 6:15 Thursday morning. Those purples indicating 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts, and that is going to take over even through downtown Los Angeles, LAX, towards Long Beach, and especially through Malibu and Santa Monica. That's where we're going to get some of those strong gusty winds, and then they are going to die down Thursday afternoon. So for tomorrow, before those winds kick into gear, things are calm, breezy with a frosty start. So you can see we'll hold on to the low to mid 60s all across the board, feeling a bit cooler than today. But there's good news. A warm up is in sight, and we're going to break that down for you coming up at 8 on KCAL. Chauncey.
All right. Rather involved in this wild pursuit today. We want to go back to that video here of the wild pursuit. We understand that U-Haul was not stolen as previously believed. Police in Seal Beach started chasing that truck after a theft at a Kohl's. The driver swerved in and out of traffic for almost hit other cars. Here's that video. He and the passenger then got out in the Belmont Park area in Long Beach. Officers ended up catching the suspect and arresting him. Thankfully, no one was hurt during this pursuit. Well, new numbers out show retail crimes continue to climb here in California. KCAL News reporter Tom Waite is working on that story for us tonight.
Well, many of us have seen the videos of people ransacking retail operations, stores and malls, smaller mom and pop shops. It's horrifying to see as these people run into these stores and just start stealing everything. Well, today from the police commission, we found out that retail crime is in fact up about 16% year to year. Other violent crimes are down, but this particular category is up. So right now, there's an effort by the governor and some of their legislators to create stiffer penalties to stop and deter some of these crimes. So for example, right now, they want to make it so that if you have a prior conviction, that could increase the penalty or a jail sentence, a prison sentence, if you continue to go in and steal. One of the major complaints from the California Retail Federation is that right now, if you steal under, I believe it's around $900, if you steal under that, you're in misdemeanor range. There's barely any penalty, and you can steal hundreds of dollars from one store next door, and it's not cumulative. So there's a huge frustration with that. We'll have more on what the governor wants to do and some of these lawmakers want to do coming up on KCAL News.
We'll see you later on tonight, Tom. Well, also tonight, the LA County District Attorney's Office says they will not file any felony charges against former Dodgers pitcher Julio Urías. Now, the 27-year-old was arrested back in September outside BMO Stadium in Exposition Park on suspicion of domestic violence. The case will now be moved to the city attorney's office for possible misdemeanor charges. Well, LA County DA George Gascon has announced charges against 2 men in 2 separate sexual assault cases, one in Culver City and the other in Long Beach. Here's KCAL News reporter Leslie Money.
I'm in downtown Long Beach. Tonight, Long Beach police announcing the arrest of 2 different suspects. They say one was arrested for sexual assault, the other one sexual batteries, but they believe in both cases there may be more victims. Now, in the first case, Long Beach police telling us that a suspect was arrested after sexually attacking 1 teenager and 2 women. In the other case, they say that suspect posed as a police officer, lured his victim in, and then sexually assaulted her. They have made arrests in both of these cases. Tonight we have details on what happened, as well as what the mayor is saying when it comes to safety on the streets here in Long Beach.
Leslie, thanks. Well, tonight, Boeing CEO saying that mid-air blowout on an Alaska Airlines flight was the company's mistake and promises full transparency during its investigation. Now, investigators are now focused on the 4 powerful bolts that should have kept that door panel from flying off of this 737 MAX 9. They are unaccounted for. Both Alaska and United Airlines now finding some with loose bolts on their now grounded planes. United believes it's an installation issue.
If you can't trust the manufacturer to tighten those bolts, can you trust them to tighten all the other bolts in the airplane?
Right now, we are focused on the evidence. We deal only with facts, and we're going to have to look at this aircraft. We will go broader if we need to.
Meanwhile, CBS News has learned officials want to know if Boeing has received damaged door plugs from its supplier. Now, about a month ago, we know a federal complaint by former employees of that supplier, Spirit Aerosystems, claims the company's products frequently contain defects. Now, more than 7 months, Texas has been sending busloads of migrants all across the country, we know. But out of this very complex situation, hope has finally come from a network of organizations. Senior reporter Ross Palumbo has that story of success that you'll only see here on CBS News Los Angeles. Ross, what's the gist of this?
Well, you know, Chauncey, I know you were in Texas when this all started. You know, the governor of Texas calls this Project Lone Star. Tonight, we're going to have an inside look. Our national investigation not only shows what he's done to more than 90,000 migrants, but we'll also show you how Los Angeles and Southern California are both responding. Since May, 35 buses have arrived here in LA from Texas. You're going to hear how many migrants were on board now, about the help our community groups have provided since then, and how their network of volunteers is critical in preventing this from devastating our entire support system here. We're going to show you part of the new system and a new local facility that just opened up to help. Also, you're going to hear an emotional message from the woman at this facility, what she has to say about Governor Greg Abbott.
I hope that one day his heart will be open to humanity so he can know the love and the joy that I have come to know by meeting those people and what justice and fairness really means.
Of course, very, very emotional. The entire issue has been emotional for all of us. She represents one of about 10 groups who have been helping here in Los Angeles, but the buses are still coming. It is still a very difficult issue. Tonight at 11, we're going to show you where and how they have had at least some success. Chauncey, it's a story of hope and inspiration in the middle of all this tragedy.
And Ross, you mentioned me working there in Houston, and we covered the border extensively. And I've got to say, a lot of people think that Governor Abbott has actually added to the problem and hasn't helped at all.
You know, he has actually. Our CBS News investigation has uncovered the fact that the state of Texas has stopped telling any group exactly where those buses are going, when they're leaving. They used to have a curfew. They wouldn't send buses at certain hours, so cities had some chance to help them. Tonight, you're going to hear all of those details as well. What Governor Abbott has done to make this more difficult, but what Californians have done to rise above and overcome those obstacles.
And I can't wait to see that glimpse of hope in this story, which we haven't seen in a while. Ross Palumbo, looking forward to your report tonight. Thanks.
Of course.
In other news, the Compton Courthouse set to reopen Thursday after this, a major flood forcing it to shut down. A pipe here burst New Year's Eve weekend, leaving the elevators, stairs, and lobby inaccessible. And now, until then, criminal cases out of the Compton Courthouse have been reassigned to other courts. Well, this has been CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Of course, we'll be back live at KCAL News at 8 o'clock right here on CBS News Los Angeles. Good evening, friends.